I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. Something synchronistic happened with this interview. A bunch of really interesting events. First of all, a few months ago, a friend of mine sent me some music on YouTube from this Ontario artist, the singer-songwriter called Tasha. And I remember thinking, I just love this woman's voice, which you'll hear me tell her in this interview. But another uncanny thing, the Boxmasters, as a suggestion on Spotify, I started listening to this band not knowing that Billy Bob Thornton was one of the players in this band. And I had no idea. I was just telling their publicist the other day that I kind of discovered the band honestly. They were formed in 2007. Billy Bob Thornton, yes, the actor that we all know, and JD Andrew. And things just kind of fell together. But the song we're going to talk about in this first segment with all three is called As I Ever Was. It's basically about someone suffering from mental illness, but realizing they might feel better in some ways, but they're still as blankety blanked up as they used to be. Of course, there's hills and valleys in mental health, which we talk about in this series. Billy Bob Thornton, JD Andrew, and Tasha are very honest about their struggles. But when you hear them talk, and I've had my own, there's nothing shameful about it. If something's broken or not working right, you want to fix it. In this first segment, we talk about that single, how they found each other, and how they're trying to help with mental illness, which is a huge problem, not only here in North America, but all over the world. Billy Bob Thornton, Tasha, JD Andrew on Rock History Music. Tell me how you connected with Tasha, both of you.
Well, we have a friend named Robin Flans, who's a rock journalist, a music journalist, who approached me about the project and wanted to know if JD and I, as the Boxmasters, would be interested in producing a song on one of the subjects that Future Youth Records is doing. And she gave us, a list of various subjects, and we're pretty close to the mental health crisis that's going on in the world right now. And said, well, that would be a really good one to do. And we said, well, what about, who are the artists? So she showed us a video.
Let's get some water.
Okay, baby, don't worry. And so without her, I'd be lost. But one way or the other, so yeah, that's awesome. And then we looked at this video that Tasha had already done with two other girls. And I said, we're pretty interested in Tasha here. And she happened to have this song. And we listened to the song. It's like, yeah, wow, that's awesome. So it was right down our alley. And so Tasha came in with Jason and Robin and a crew of other people involved in the project. And we were wanting to make this into a very organic record for her. Where JD and I essentially were, producers, although Tasha doesn't need a producer. She's amazing. But we actually played the instruments, JD and I, and then just did some vocal passes with Tasha till we got the one we wanted, and it was amazing. And we're just proud to be a part of it,
And JD, what about your perspective for this fine young lady?
Well, Billy he had been talking to Robin about the project for a while, and basically just told me, "Hey, we're going to record a song with, this girl." And I was like, "Okay, great, yeah, fun." But he sent me the song, and I remember listening to it for the first time, and just it's like, okay, listening to a girl and a piano, and we got to the chorus, and I was like, "Oh, damn." We've got that. This is something. And I remember getting really excited about it because, okay, this is a song that's going to catch people's attention. And, yeah, it's just, even without the use of the colorful word, in the chorus. The chorus was so strong that it's like, okay, people are gonna, even if they don't know what the song is really about, they're gonna grab onto it and be excited and enjoy the song, just for a pop song, sort of a thing. And so, you know, hearing it in that early, piano and vocal version, really gave us, some ideas. It's like, okay, what are we going to do here? And the great thing was that we were able to just do what we do. And, we didn't really change our sound that much to suit her. It's just she kind of fit into our puzzle kind of perfectly. So we were able to do what we do best, add Tasha into that. And I think, if things were like they used to be when we grew up, this would be a hit song with no doubt, like instantly. And, sadly, that's not how the music business works anymore. People aren't going to be, hearing this song the way that we did when we grew up, having, top 40s and all that, countdowns and all that, because this would be at the top of the charts if things were as they were. But hopefully people hear it, because it is great. And, we loved recording with her and, getting to hang out with her here like this, because we're big fans of Tasha.
Well, with the, growing up in the 70s, I'm 63, growing up in the 70s, I used to hear things like, oh, your dad forgot to take his nerve pills. And as a kid, you don't know what that means, right? And the press release says it, and it always has to be said, and it can't be said enough, that mental health is this thing that isn't talked about. Every family has dealt with it, whether you're in a high pressure job, which Billy, of course, you are. And I know your past of how you dealt with it, but tell me about your own perspectives on mental health.
Tasha, you want to handle that first?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, mental health. I mean, I've gone through quite a mental health challenge in the last few years, but even before that, as a kid, I think back on times when I was like pretty little, and I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know what these thoughts were and what was going on, and I fought with it all through my teen years, and I had no words for it. There was no there was more conversation than you guys grew up with, but there still felt like a huge lack there until maybe the last like 10 years or so. So for a good chunk of my life, I was just confused and felt surely like something was very, very wrong with me. And I think that's part of, the awareness. I mean, it's changed the amount of awareness that we have now, which still is not enough, but the conversation, the stigma ending now has already made such a huge difference on my life in such a short amount of time. That it just tells me even more that we just need to keep going with this further and further and further. And I think art's the way to do it. And I think compassion and talking honestly and speaking openly and being transparent about what we feel and think and not demonizing ourselves. You know what I mean? I think that will go a long way in the public in terms of changing the conversation with mental health and continuing it.
Guys?
Yeah, all of that stuff and some more. I grew up with a few things and still deal with a pretty severe anxiety disorder and sometimes bordering on agoraphobia and pretty severe OCD and things like that. And when I was a kid, they didn't have programs, names for things. I didn't find out I was severely dyslexic until I got like in my 30s and heard about it. And when I was at school, I just thought I was stupid, which may be true, but not for the reasons they say. I'm usually stupid in decision making, but it's something that a lot of people deal with, and more people than you might think. because a lot of times people are afraid to talk about it. So I think the more people are made aware of it, and like Tasha said, the more compassion people have for it, and to take that stigma away, because it's just a thing that some people have, and there are various reasons for it. And I think if you could clear up a lot of mental health problems in the world, you would clear up a lot of other problems in the process. And I think art is, as Tasha said earlier, is a very good way to do this, because it's a way of communicating where you can, maybe you're not able to communicate it to people just in a classroom or a conversation or something. Maybe you're too shy to do it or too afraid to do it, about what people think about you. But if you do it in the form of a song or a painting or whatever it is, I think that's the way you can reach people. That way they can discover it for themselves. And so I think what they're doing with Future Youth Records and people like Tasha is a great thing. If you're not using, in other words, people can make speeches all day long at award shows or wherever they are about their causes and everything. But until you start getting it out there through the actual art, I don't think it works as well, because people don't want to feel preached to. They want to feel that they've learned something through, they've discovered something, and then I think they can jump on the bandwagon easier that way, other than, finger pointing and all that kind of stuff. So we're very honored to be a part of this, and very honored to be a part of this particular aspect of what they're doing in the mental health world.
Yeah. JD, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, mine sounds, so much less substantial, but, I've been a, very strong proponent of the, you take a little pill in the morning and it kind of just makes the makes the chest stop hurting, makes, but I've had anxiety issues for a long time as well, and like growing up, if you don't know what it is, you try to kill it with other things, alcohol, nicotine, all of those things that are, really bad for you. You try to, medicate yourself in a way. And so, it took a long time for me to discover that, there are other things you can take that make that need, go away. And so, there's and thankfully it's like my kids have the same thing, so it's like they're able to get help, when they're, really young, that helps them, deal with the issues that they're having. So, two of my kids are basically on the same stuff I am. And it's like I see it really working for them. And if they didn't have it, it's like they can't learn. It's like they're so shut down. They're suffering from so many problems with the anxiety, and it just makes it so that they can't learn. They go hide in a corner, and kind of sit there and freak out. And just getting them a bit of help and seeing the doctor really has made it so that they can go through school and not have issues, and they're learning and thriving in school. But it took a bunch of appointments. It's like, okay, what's their issue, what's really, what's the problems. And it's the same thing I had to do. It's like, trying something, and it's like, okay, this is okay, but it's not working the way that I need it to. Let's try something else. Or eventually you land on your formula, and it's my formula is Zoloft, and it's a really helpful pill that, that I'm able to take every day, and it just kind of takes the edge off, and it makes it so it's like I'm not frantically chain smoking, trying to, calm the nerves or anything. So it's like my health is so much better, and my mind is so much better just being able to knock down all of that anxiety. And I'm really thankful that I'm able to do that.
We'll have more from Billy Bob Thornton and his partner in Boxmasters, JD Andrew, and Tasha coming up in the next 2-3 days. And when the video is ready, we'll put the entire video together on our sister station, where we put all our long form videos at Rock History Book. Remember, if you want to donate to the channel, there are links in the description where you can make a PayPal donation. You can also join our Patreon and get early access to our videos. Like our videos, share them on social media, subscribe to the channel, and comment on them as well. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music.